Hello and welcome to another AmbaSat Basics video. Today we're going to go over how easy it is to code an AmbaSat 1 to get it flashing, and a quick going over of where to find the software to do so. Now you are probably thinking, damn, to program a space satellite I'm going to need a NASA computer with all of the super fast RGB. Well, not to worry, as even a decade-old laptop or your grandparents' fossil of a PC should be more than capable of doing this. Today I'll be using an Ftdi programmer and a battered old laptop of mine to prove this point. But first, let's start with where you can find some example codes. If you're new to coding, not to worry. The AmbaSat magicians have a bunch of codes ready for you to configure, compile and flash. Though you are more than welcome to script your own flight codes if you are familiar with the dark art of C++. Excuse me. So, make your way to GitHub using the link below, or just search GitHub AmbaSat-1 through Google, like so. Once you find this page seen here, it is as easy as clicking the big green code button at the top right and selecting download zip. Once downloaded, you'll need to unzip the files, which, if you haven't done before, is easy. Just select the folder you want to extract, right click and hit extract. I'll throw this folder onto the desktop, just so I know where it is. Now, it's worth mentioning here that if you are working on a networked machine like at a library or a school, when working with these codes, you will be working from your computer's local drive, commonly known as C drive. But this is likely right after each session, or could be completely locked down by your system admin. Please check with your system's admin to see if this is the case. When possible, after each session, save your codes to a folder within your system's network drive, usually down as N drive after each session, or use a portable flash device. But anyway, once extracted, you'll have all of the up-to-date AmbaSat example and flight codes. But what to do with them? If you've never programmed or coded before, you're going to need an IDE, standing for Integrated Development Environment. For this, I recommend Visual Studio Code. VSC is handy for writing and testing codes all in one place. Now, VSC is compatible with the big three operating systems out there, Windows, macOS and Linux. So the easiest way to get the right version of VSC for you is to go to the page seen here. I'll leave a link in the description below, but it's as easy as selecting what is applicable for your machine. You may need admin permission here. Once installed and running, the next thing we'll need to install is platformio through VSC as an extension. What is platformio? This is a professional tool used by system and software engineers the world over to aid in utilizing embedded applications. To install through VSC, click on the Extensions tab on the left of the VSC window like so, and search for platformio and press install. A common problem I hear from students that are using their school's computers is that although they have done this step, the next time they log on they can't compile code. This is usually a simple case of the students using a different machine each time they log on, so I'd recommend using the same machine each time you are working with your codes to avoid the need of installing platformio multiple times. Now your machine should be ready to compile and flash codes to your AmbaSat 1 device. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's go over how to correctly connect an Ftdi to an AmbaSat 1. This is crucial, as even though the AmbaSat has some voltage regulation on board, we do not want to send power to the wrong place. This can damage components. You'll notice on both PCBs, the pins are labelled with small acronyms which tell us where to connect to. The connections to be made from Ftdi to AmbaSat are DTR to DTR, RX to TX, TX to RX, VCC to VIN, and GND to GND. DTR is standing for data terminal ready. This pin is telling either device they're ready to communicate with what we call a handshake, as well as allowing for auto device resetting. RX stands for receive, and TX stands for transmit. It's through these pins where serial data will be sent between devices. VCC is voltage common collector. This represents where the power flow stems from. VIN stands for voltage input. This is where we want to direct power to. GND stands for ground, which acts as a return and a neutral reference point for electrical signals. Now, once connected up correctly like seen here, you should be ready to plug in the USB, and in the VSC, click on File, Open Workspace, AmbaSat 1 Master, wherever you've put it, Source, Examples, AmbaSat LED, and open the AmbaSat LED workspace. Clicking on the small tick down here on the bottom of the bar will compile your code, and you can flash using the arrow once successfully compiled. But first, let's cover a few common errors that can happen here. Here's a common one I see when people are trying to flash their AmbaSat. Programmer not responding, followed by several auto attempts to retry the effort. Often this is simply caused by a wire connected to the wrong pin between the Ftdi and the AmbaSat, or not connected at all. Recheck your wiring and try again. If this persists after checking your wires, this can indicate an accidental short circuit or a bad connection on your board, likely between the programming pin's solder points or the AdMega chip itself, particularly for our engineering kit clients. At this point, it will be worth checking the 32 leads on your AdMega chip for any short circuits or weak connections. On to another less common error. Error unknown board ID. This is usually a quick fix and is usually a case of people using outdated example codes. Our codes have been updated to have the board definition file in a .json format, which should be in the workspace file location in a folder entitled boards. If for whatever reason this has gone missing, copy the boards folder from another workspace like so and paste it in place. And fixed. If you don't have the board definition file available, re-download the codes for updated versions, or challenge yourself to write it yourself if you're into the dark arts. Excuse me. One error for Team Linux. Warning, please install 99 platformio udev rules. And of course, if you're on Team Pingu, you'll have been expecting some extra configuring anyway. The easiest way to get around this is with sudo installed, open your terminal and copy this command from the description below and hit enter. You should now be able to compile and flash on Linux. Hooray! Oh, one final quick error I would like to cover, which happens even to myself more often than I'd care to admit. Please specify upload port. Usually this means you've forgotten to plug in the USB connection. Make sure it's connected. If this persists, try changing USB ports. With your workspace open in VSC, click on the tick to compile your code. Now you've probably heard me use that word a few times today, but what does compile mean? When we're compiling code, we're taking a set of instructions we have written out in the black magic of C++ that we can totally understand, and turning it into a set of instructions that machines can understand. Once compiled, you'll get this chunky green success letting you know that your code is ready to flash to a device. Once you've triple checked that you're plugged in and connected correctly, hit the arrow to flash. And there we go, your flashy bit should now be flashing. You can also click on this plug icon at the bottom of Visual Studio Code to get to the terminal feed so you can see what is actually going on. So what is the point of this? Why should we even bother with a flashing LED test? Well, the main reason is the flashing LED is an indication that everything is working as it should be. If you get a chunky fail, when you try and flash a device is an indication that more attention is needed. Check your connections, check your soldering, etc. Another good reason to play around with these codes is if you've never coded before. I'm encouraging you to play about with these delays, change the timings and more. See if you can figure out how to get a double flash or an SOS in Morse code or something similar. Oh, just a note before we move on. When disconnecting your device from your computer, be sure to disconnect the USB end first to avoid any surges or such from damaging your device. But that's basically it for today's video, and basically all you need to know to start your adventure into STEM and get started with the programming of your very own space satellite. And as always, thank you for watching, and to find out more about AmbaSat and our kits, please visit ambasat.com.